UTSA women's basketball coach Karen Aston's weekly media availability. We're here on December 9th, 2025. Roadrunners last week fell to UNLV and number 14 Baylor. This week they'll look to bounce back, hosting Prairie View A&M on Saturday, December 13th, in a Hoops for the Holidays matchup at 1 p.m. And then they'll host Texas A&M Kingsville on Monday, December 15th, on Education Day at 11 a.m. Coach, if you could start us off with an opening statement, and then we'll open it up to questions.
Yeah, it's finals week, so a little bit of a time where you have to let the players sort of be students for a minute and give them a few days to catch their breath and focus on academics. I think it's always a tough time. The last week and a half, 2 weeks are really tough during this time of the year, and you kind of have to muddle through it. And I thought our team did that. Very, very disappointed in how we played against UNLV. And again, as I said after the game, it was a huge credit to how they played, but it was uncharacteristic for our team. I didn't think we played with a lot of passion or pride, and that's not really who we are or who we've been. And I thought that we were able to turn around and go to a really tough environment that was not something we've necessarily been in this year with this team, and I thought we handled it really well. For as long as we could, I thought we stayed in the game, and then it got away from us late in it. But I was very impressed, really, with how we turned around some things in a couple of days. And I think that if we can continue to practice with the type of intention that we had before we went to Waco, then we have a chance to win any game that we play. But the key has been for this particular group just to string along those days in practice where there's really good intention, and we'll continue to work on that.
Sean?
Coach, sometimes with a young team, a really difficult loss can kind of be devastating, but your squad really came out with a attacking mindset in a really tough place on Sunday at Baylor. What have you seen from them from a mindset perspective, and how do you think they were able to shift so quickly?
Well, credit to them that they let me coach them, which I think sometimes is when things aren't going great, it's hard to do, and they were receptive to things that we did in practice that were necessary for us to go up there and not just get our doors blown off. Baylor is really, really good. It's a legitimate ranking. And for us to go up there again with that atmosphere, it was festive. It was good. There were people there. They were engaged in their team. And, we looked like we were able to block the noise out a little bit and really focus on us. And, again, we made a lot of mistakes, and we're going to because we're young, but I agree with you. I think it was impressive that we were able to turn it around, and the key for this team is, can we keep doing that? Can we keep getting better every day, and can we work on the things that we need to improve? Can we become better teammates, become better listeners? All of those things are just a process for a young team, and we took some steps, and I'm interested to see how we are in practice this week.
Jerry?
Coach, thanks for joining us this morning. I wanted to ask here, looking at the schedule, we're about 3 weeks out from the start of conference play, and I just wondered if you could. I know you talked about last week and the things that are going on last week, but just overall in the season that you've played thus far, really tough schedule, 4 teams, UNLV, a very good ball club. Where are you right now in the progress that you've made, and do you have enough time to get to where you want to be by the time conference starts?
No, there's a lot in that question, Jerry. I think that the schedule obviously didn't do this young team any favors if you look at it just from a win-loss perspective. But if you look at it from a perspective of, they didn't need to have a false sense of who they were going into conference play. They needed to understand what it takes, to compete against a good basketball team. They needed to understand what their weaknesses were. for a lack of better words, they needed to become a team because this was a new group that wasn't and still isn't where they need to be from a team perspective. And that's just because there's just so many new pieces and so many people that haven't experienced this before. So, I mean, I think we're growing. You know, are we in a month? Are we going to be exactly where we need to be when we open up here against Tulane? Probably not. But I think we're getting closer every day if they just continue to plug along, you know, and if they continue to work on the things that it's going to take to win tough games, then I think we'll be a work in progress all year. I don't know that we'll be where we need to be. Again, if they continue to work on the things that are necessary and we stay healthy, we still could be, 2 months away just because of the lack of experience that we have, in particular at the guard position. So, I'm not discouraged. I was discouraged by how we played against UNLV, how we played the game. I wasn't discouraged that we lost. UNLV is really good. Losses teach you lessons, and that loss taught us like you can't just show up. We just didn't have what it took to compete against a really good team. And for us as coaches, like we look at this, Jerry, and go, okay, is there something with this particular team that we need to tweak? Whether it be game day routine, whether it be the days before we play a game. So this is all an evolution for this group, and I'm still super excited to see what the final product's going to be.
Coach, do you have? I'm sorry. Go ahead, Sean.
Okay, thanks, Jerry. Coach, what have you seen from your veteran leadership as you've sort of gone through the ups and downs with a newish team?
Yeah, I think the most constant person has been Cheyenne Rowe, and I think that reflects on the court. I think Idara has the most experience, but Idara also came into the season recovering from some off-season, I don't want to say injuries for lack of a better word, but she was limited and still is somewhat limited in practice every day. So her voice is there, but I understand how players are, and they do know that like the production matters and how much they play, matters, and I think they understand all that. But Idara's voice has been the same. It's been very strong. She understands what's necessary every day, and she's the anchor for our defense. And to be honest with you, like we've talked, she's got to stop getting in foul trouble because 20 minutes from Idara is not as what our team needs. We need more than that. So Cheyenne's been really constant, and I think what was encouraging to me in the Baylor game was the play of the point guards. I thought that they were more sure of some things that they needed to do. I think Ariana's finding her footing finally, and I think that came from her 2 weeks off that she had to take with her injury right when season started. But she'll continue to get her feet on the ground and take the reins of our team as point guards are supposed to do. And I think Adriana's she's a freshman. I was really proud of how she performed against Baylor. She makes mistakes, as all freshmen do and all players do, but she's so willing to learn. And I think the sooner the point guards can take the reins of the leadership, then it's always better, in my opinion.
Jerry?
Yeah, Coach, with Prairie View coming in on Saturday, it's a familiar face you'll be seeing come in the door of the Convocation Center. Ty Dillard in her first season as head coach at Prairie View, and I wondered if you could talk a little bit about your time with her at Texas, and I guess first, did you recruit her out of high school, Coach?
I did. Ty was at Sam Houston with Anissa Hastings, who's now the head coach at Wagner, and just two of the most competitive players and two of the best people that I've ever coached in my lifetime. Ty she's a treasure, to be honest with you. She was She was one of those players that just, really, she just put her hard hat on every single day, as I'm sure she's done as a coach. She was a absolute pleasure to coach. She's got a wonderful family. She's a San Antonio legend, in my opinion. I think that I use her as a story a lot when I have young players that struggle. Because she, as a freshman, came in, didn't get to play very much. And then right at the end of her freshman year, literally it was before the conference tournament, I just remember this so vividly. It was like the light came on, and she really never looked back once that happened. And it was fun to watch. She was starting guard on our Final Four team at Texas, and just was someone that, again, with the love that I have for the defensive end of the court, she was my person. Like, she was always the guard that I put on everybody's best player, and just was somebody that did her job every day. And so I couldn't be any more proud that she has a head coaching opportunity. She's paid her dues. She's done everything the right way, and just proud to bring her in our gym, and hope that San Antonio will welcome her back.
Sean?
Coach, with ESPN and college basketball this week celebrating V Week, and I know you've been touched by cancer, as so many of us have, and you've been involved with the K. Yao Foundation. So just what do these efforts mean to you?
Well, I think cancer research will always have a pretty deep place in my heart. I mean, it's something that's, I think, ever evolving. I appreciate the fact that women's basketball has inherited and adopted the K. Yao Foundation as our nonprofit that we support. I was on the board. It is something that's very close to me, and I'm proud that our league has stepped forward, and each head coach is going to contribute to the K. Yao Foundation this year. And I'm excited that we're with Nike. I'm excited that we can actually have a hand in wearing the stuff that you wear when you support the game. But more importantly, you have to support the cause. It's pretty clear that without support, that without monetary support from people, then there's going to be a struggle in finding a cure. And I think everybody, I don't know that there's anybody in the world that hasn't been touched at some point with cancer or by cancer. And it's definitely very dear to me, and something that I put a lot of value in.
Jerry?
I just wanted to ask a little bit more about Idara, and just what you've seen in terms of the foul trouble that she's been getting into. Do you see is the issue more on the offensive end or the defensive end, reaching or anything like that? What areas do you think she needs to work on to be less in foul trouble towards the end of the game?
Jerry, some of it's a discipline. It's an awareness of, okay, I have one, and the competitor in her tells her to go make the next play. And it's an evolution for a player to understand how to play with fouls. And I was really proud of her, really, in the Baylor game, that I put her back in the second quarter, and she didn't get her third, because we were on the ropes a little bit, and I thought, okay, I'm gonna have to roll the dice here, and she took a step in not getting that third in the first half. Some of it, to be honest with you, I don't know what's being looked at. I've looked heavily at every foul to see, okay, is it something that I can help her with? The first foul she got within the first minute of the game, to be honest with you, she did everything that I told her she needed to do to not get a foul. She had her hands up. She didn't push off. She didn't wrap around. She was physical, which would surprise me in a game, in a Power 4 game, that she would get called for a physicality foul. But then her second one, she reaches in and tries to block a shot from behind. So those are the ones that you're like, okay, let it go. And it's a discipline that you have to come with, that she's learning, and she needs to learn at a fast rate because we're better when she's on the floor. And some of this has been conditioning, to be honest with you, Jerry. I mean, some of it is, maybe she's a little bit fatigued and she's got to learn how to kind of manage that until I can get her out, because we're still in that stage of getting her into the type of game shape to play 30 plus. Which we knew that. I mean, we knew that what she went through in the off season, like that was going to be a process for her. And we knew that it could be January until she was in the type of shape that is necessary. And I'm fine with that, so figure out how to manage yourself while you're going through this. And it's been a learning experience for her that you can't blame her for, because it's never really been there before. So she'll get better. I mean, it's every game. I think she's learning a little bit more about herself and about things that she needs to get better at, and as every player is. And I think we'll see some improvement in that. But
Sean?
some of it I don't have an answer for. Some of it is puzzling to me.
Not to jump ahead, but Monday is Rowdy's fast break field trip, and got several hundred school kids scheduled to come. What's great about that experience for young people, and why do you look forward to that?
It's one of my favorite games of the year. You've just hit on two of them. I love the KYAL game for various reasons, and then I love the Education Day game. It's so fun to see young ones get to kind of experience the college experience. A lot of times they get to walk around the campus, and they just get to see the environment, and you never know what's going to spark someone. You never know when there's a young person that just gets an opportunity to get on the bus, come to the game, and they've never seen a college basketball game, and it allows them to dream something that maybe they never even knew existed. So I think we take that for granted sometimes, that there are so many young people that have never seen a college game or never been on a college campus, and they don't know what they don't know. So I think number one, they get to see that, and some of them never seen women's basketball. Maybe they've seen the NBA on TV or whatever. You hope they've seen other games, but reality of it is maybe they haven't. Maybe a little girl has never seen a college women's basketball game. So I love that part of it. And then I think the other part that I love is they cheer no matter what. Like, they're just cheering for everything, and it's always fun. It's loud. It's a great environment, and I always look forward to it. This year will probably be a lot of fun. If we happen to get enough in here, then hopefully somebody scores 67 points, so we can probably have a little fun with that if we can do that.
That'll close things out. Thanks, everybody.
Thank y'all.